Welcome back to BSRTV for this round number 9 of the Engineers Direct British Sim Racers Touring Car Championship. We're here at the Okayama International Circuit, the short layout, where once again we'll be racing for 24 laps in the final race of the evening. Hello everybody, I'm Azam Baffin, alongside me iRacing World Championship driver Alex Simpson. Alex, 15 cars once again reversed in this reverse grid, and with a sunny circuit here at Okayama, I'm expecting the cars that are sitting in 15th place, the likes of Simon Field, our race 2 winner, and Andreas Katz, to probably work their way up the order pretty quickly.
Yeah, I think you're right. We saw that even in the last race with the slightly overcast conditions, and the car just perhaps a little bit easier to drive once the tyre temps are built up. It still got up there, so I have to think this time it could be opportunity for the likes of Katz or maybe Baker to even try and nick a win here.
Well, let's have a look at the starting grid then for the final race of the evening. On pole position for race number 3, as a result of the reverse grid, it is Halit Ertas for Oculus 360, and alongside him on row number 1 it's Marcio Amado. On row number 2, in 3rd place, it's Stephen Burke with Ashley Blake Hood in 4th, Robert Graham in 5th, and Steve Hefford in 6th. Robert Fagg, his car turns into a bit of a banger racer. He's lining up 7th with Ella Stevens in 8th. Paul Smith is in 9th position with David Baker in 10th. 11th place is John Bays. 12th is Steve Walker. 13th is Dan Hunt. 14th is Andreas Katz. 15th is our race 2 winner Simon Field. And then running out the top 20 in 16th place is Julian Janowski. 17th Kevin Noon. 18th place is Eckhart von Glan. And 19th is David Brock. And in 20th place it is our BSRTC commentating colleague Andrew Woodhouse. Cars getting ready to go, a few seconds away, 10 seconds away from the start of this final race of the evening. In fact, we're ready to go now. Everyone's formed up already. 24 laps of the Okayama International Circuit, the short layout. Lights out, we're racing. Halit Ertas gets a good start away from the line. The Pete Newman car looks to the outside. Halit Ertas moves across the track to defend from the Team Fusion car. He holds onto the lead for now, but he's sideways. Everyone's sideways. Who's going to get the lead? Look at the Team Carnage popping his way through the order. I hear huge incidents at the back, Alex. I think David Baker's involved. Yeah,
we're still watching it, and there's lots of people going off afterwards as well. Guys coming back onto the track causing mayhem as well, and it's turn 2, turn 3. The Pete Newman car being spun around, it's on its roof. Craziness out there.
Still no sign of a safety car yet. Safety car is out, just as I say that. So who's leading the race? It is Ashley Blakewood in 3rd, in 2nd place. At the front though, it is Stephen Burke. So Pete Newman Media managed to win race 2. We've got a car out front in race 3 at the moment. Halit Ertas, if you're wondering where he's gone, while we were looking at the craziness in turn 1, he spun off as well after going way. He is currently sitting down in 19th place. So the safety car, it bunches the pack up, and it should, hopefully, Alex, sedate the race a bit.
Yeah, I guess the driver's really just perhaps a little bit distracted, and yeah, I'll put my teeth back in, and I think what I'm going to say, the weather, I'm guessing they thought, oh look, a bit of sunshine, we can go for it in turn 1. Oh, how wrong they were. Mostly cloudy conditions out there, so track temperature's still a little bit cool. A lot of drivers getting very, very sideways, and well, look at the carnage in that first lap. There were incidents all over the shop, and good call to get the safety car out there, because by my reckoning, we could have as many as 10 drivers already into pit lane involved in different incidents. So, yeah, it's a shame.
And one of them, bad timing for me, that really.
Yeah, I was just about to say, why don't we join Andrew Woodhouse during the safety car? What was it like at the start? Because you managed to get yourself up into 13th place.
Carnage, to be honest. I saw 2 cars rolling. So one spinning onto the track and getting clobbered. Got a little tap, but that was all.
One of the cars involved David Baker, of course.
Yeah, I mean, terrible for him. But he's usually the one that makes it all through this, isn't he?
Is the safety car going to help you at all? The fact that you're now right with everyone else, do you think you can get a top 10? Could that be possible?
No, I think to be honest, it would have been better for me if the safety car had have not appeared.
Well, here we go. The lights are off.
I think I'm going to struggle when it goes back in, because I haven't got the pace. But you never know. You never know. I mean, it's gonna be fun, and these guys, hopefully, everyone will keep it clean under the safety car, really.
Okay, we'll let you get ready for the start of the restart. We've got 21 laps to go when the lights go green and the race gets back underway. Let's have a look at the running order at the moment. Stephen Burke leading the pack round. Ashley Blakehood in second place. I think the cars are hitting each other as we're going through that corner. Third place, Robert Graham, driving for Apex Racing TV, had a great start. Fourth place, Paul Smith. Fifth place at the moment is Ellis Stevens. Sixth, Steve Hefford. Seventh is Daniel Hunt. Eighth, Robert Fagg. Ninth, Simon Field, our race 2 winner, so he's already got off to a great start. In 10th, it is John Bays. 11th, Steve Walker. 12th, Julian Janowski. 13th, as we were saying, Andrew Woodhouse. 14th, Eckhart von Glan. 15th, it is Halit Ertas. He started on pole. 16th, Richard Wild. 17th, Robert Plumley. 18th is Gordon Wilson. And then rounding up the top 20, it's Alex Malensky. And in 20th place, it is, before we go back green, Ben Palmer. So, what do you think the approach is going to be for Ashley Blakehood? Go right at it from the start, Alex?
I think so. I think he won't give Buck any chance to settle, and actually looks like Robert Graham caught snoozing a bit further back. The first two are away already.
And Ashley Blakehood was just kept unawares as well. The gap between the top two, half a second. We are back to green flag racing here at the Okayama short circuit into the first corner. Stephen Burke holding on at the moment over Ashley Blakehood, but Robert Graham 1.5 seconds behind already. And who's that going off? That is Paul Smith. So terrible restart from him. That's going to allow Ellis Stevens through, and he's down to 5th place. So not the best restart for Paul Smith.
Hefford having a look. Smith still very, very loose. Hefford's got his teammate Daniel Hunt behind him as well. Looks like Hunt maybe having a look up the inside into the hairpin, gets that move done, and actually it looks like Hefford had to check up a little bit there, and he's going to lose a place to Robert Fagg as well. So Fagg with a great move there, just timed that perfectly.
Robert Fagg already got damage to the front of his Team Carnage car, perfectly suiting the name, into the final corner to complete the first lap under green flag conditions. Robert Fagg runs to the back of Dan Hunt. These two already working their way through the pack. The next car in front of them is Paul Smith after making that error in turn 1 a lap ago. Fastest lap of the race by Stephen Burke, even though it's Robert Graham. So Robert Graham, even though he hung back at the restart, he set the fastest lap of the race. Paul Smith definitely holding up Dan Hunt though. The car in front of Paul Smith. In 4th, Ellis Stevens, he's definitely breaking away already.
Yeah, Paul Smith. Paul's had a bit. Has he got a slow down penalty? I'm thinking he might have done, because it just looks like all of a sudden he just got swamped. Let's see if he checks up after the yeses. No, maybe he got it served just in the nick of time there. But so 1.6 seconds he's now lost off of the back of Ellis.
And we were We were covering another Kia League a few days ago, and we saw how Dan Hunt was stuck behind one car for practically the entire race, and in the end he made a mistake. Let's hope that doesn't happen to him tonight. Paul Smith runs a bit wide through the first corner, and that could be his chance. In fact, it could be Rob Fagg's chance. Rob Fagg down the inside to the right-hander. He's got the inside line, and he's got the position of Duvig. He hits Dan Hunt just the smallest bit of contact, and he gets hit from behind from the other Oculus car. That is Steve Hefford. So it all went wrong there from Rob Fagg after he tried to go down the inside into turn 2.
Field on Hefford here. It's going to be late on the brakes to get that move done. They're side by side. I think this is going to pan out. Hefford's going to still have the inside line here, and actually just gives Field just a little barge there just to hold on to that position. Good drive.
Yeah, Steve Hefford, of course, after hitting the back of Rob Fagg, he seems to have dropped back just a little bit. You don't worry, you're not missing anything at the front. Stephen Burke leading Ashley Blakehood by 7/10 of a second. But Steve Hefford is now going to come under pressure from Field. He's right with him down the front straight. Field looks to the inside line, and I think Hefford might be giving him the decision there. But no, he cuts back in front, and it's surely going to be contact there. Just a little bit there. A few wheels hitting each other there into the right-hander. Surely Hefford's got the position now, but Hefford will try and go around the outside. Field has the outside line, but Hefford has the inside line, and that's what's given Hefford the position. This is definitely going to hold them up, because look at the cars behind. John Bays and Steve Walker, they're joining the action as well into the left-hander. Field still trying to get past Hefford. They've been side by side now for practically the whole lap. They hit each other, bit of contact there. Hefford still side by side. We're nearly up on the whole lap.
Back as well, on the hairpin. Everybody else to avoid in action.
John Bays it was in the Team Fusion car.
Field up and past. Great driving. That took absolutely ages to get it done, but great driving from both of them. A little bit of banging here and there, but for the most part kept it out. Paul Smith going a bit slow. That must be a slow down penalty.
Yeah, he didn't have one earlier, but he's definitely got one now. And look in the background, an Apex Racing TV car's battling hard going into the first corner. I don't know which one that was, but it was, I think it might have been...
Richard Wild, I think.
Richard Wild, yeah. So Richard Wild battling with the Engine Oils Direct car, which I believe was Robert Plumley. So great battle unfolding there. Battles all the way through the pack. It's a great race 3 at the moment.
Yeah, just as we're looking ahead, is our co-commentator just going a little bit wide. Wild taking a very wild line as well through the first of the hairpin, cuts back, gets a good run off of that corner though. Will he get a run on Woodhouse this time by?
Andrew Woodhouse, he managed to gain a spot as a result of the restart. He was in 13th place, but now he's up in 12th. Just want to divert your attention back to the front because there seems to be a battle for the lead. We've got 16 laps to go here. Ashley Blakehood's only 0.4 of a second away from Stephen Burke. I know we're not even at half distance yet, but Ashley Blakehood seems to be putting the pressure on. The gap is now was under 0.3 of a second, but the Team Carnage car definitely taking it to the Pete New Media car at this early stage.
Yeah, just having a look at what the lap times they're doing there, about 1/10 of a second faster than Robert Graham and Ellis Stevens behind, so they can probably go at it a little bit, but not too much because they will soon have a 4-car battle if they start really ding-donging around, as we've seen sometimes they've had to do to get a move done here.
And the battle's unfolding for 9th place now. Paul Smith, and in fact it's 3 Lugnut's cars. Paul Smith in 9th, Julian Janowski in 10th, and Steve Walker in 11th place. We've seen the catastrophic events of teammates hitting each other as I think Steve Walker, has he received a slowdown penalty? He's in the middle of the racetrack, and Andrew Woodhouse is going to take avoiding action there to get around him. And I think he might have used it to his advantage because he's able to have got past the Apex Racing TV car. Woodhouse into 11th place. Mega Hakkinen style there by Woodhouse.
Yeah, actually I think he's just going to lose out here. He's going to try around the outside. Just not far enough alongside to make that work this time. So Wild back up into 11th spot there.
Yeah, it's a shame from Andrew Woodhouse. He could have got that position done, but he's still in 12th place, and as we were speaking to him during the caution period, I think that seems to be a great position for him at the moment. Steve Hefford in 8th. The closest battle we've got on track at the moment, as I'm looking down the timing screen, is probably the battle for 13th place between Alex Smolensky and Robert Plumley. The gap between them, 0.3 of a second.
Yes, that's a lot closer than that now. Smolensky got a very, very poor run out of the final corner. Plumley having a look this time. Is he going to get enough of a run? Smolensky can't defend the inside. Plumley up the inside, late on the brakes for both of them. Still side by side as well.
And yeah, once again into the right-hander. This is allowing Woodhouse to pull away. Smolensky round the outside, he clears him, but will he be able to keep the car on the racetrack? Yes, he does. So Smolensky using all of that grip in his Kia Optima, he's able to hold on to that 13th place. Great driving from him. And Steve Walker, he's trying to get back in the action after receiving that slowdown penalty a lap ago.
It just goes to show how much that hurt Walker as well. 15th place, got great pace. We know that, we've seen that from the previous 2 races, but he's he's going to struggle a little bit from there, I think.
Back at the front, we've got 2 battles unfolding: the battle for the lead and the battle for the final spot on the podium. Ashley Blakehood going toe to toe with Stephen Burke. He's going to go all over the curbs on the exit of the first corner, but he keeps it on the track, and that's the most important thing. And in all of that happening, they're going to be joined by Robert Graham and Ellis Stevens. Stephen Burke just can't seem to settle into a rhythm. Once you've made one mistake, you make many more, and Blakehood's got the inside line. This is what he needs. Don't turn across him, Stephen Burke. That's just going to end in disaster, and it almost does for him. He almost ends up in the gravel. This is going to allow Robert Graham to launch on the offensive as well into the right-hander. Stephen Burke desperate to get that lead back, and Ashley Blakehood is our new race leader, but it's anyone's guess who's going to get second place. Oh no, that's not what you do. That is not an overtaking spot, Robert Graham, and that's going to allow Dan Hunt. Oh, and it's just gone to pot here. Ellis Stevens is through, Dan Hunt is through, the Team Carnage car, Rob Fagg is through, Robert Graham down into 6th position now.
Oh, look at Fagg here, right up against the wall. I thought for a moment there he was just going to try some sort of crazy move, but in the end doesn't quite get past Daniel Hunt.
Fagg looking down the inside once again, side by side with Hunt, but he has to get on the brakes, and he gets hit into by Robert Graham. Robert Graham, oh, and he turns him around. Robert Graham, I don't think he's used to being at the front, and be careful, Robert Graham. Oh, blimey, Robert Fagg, he was asking for it there. Rob Fagg cutting across when there was an overlap, and he gets hit for that by Robert Graham. Robert Graham definitely racking up the incident points, so I don't know how many he's got, but he's surely in danger of getting disqualified. Rob Fagg's now under pressure from Simon Field. Simon Field down the inside of Rob Fagg as we go into the right-hander. 12 laps to go, half distance. Fagg is going to lose a position. Yes! Oh no, I think he just hit the back of Field, and that just unsettled the Kia Optimus. Field's now going to go onto the gravel. It's all mad here in the final race of the day. Here comes Fagg once again, right alongside the pit wall. Defensive move there by Simon Field into turn 1. Alex, who is going to get this position?
Yeah, it looks like a good exit there from Robert. Great move. I think on Field he'll get that. Yeah, goes in a little bit hot just to make sure he makes that position. So back up and into 6th place. We also saw, just going into turn 1, Ellis Stevens having a little look on Stephen Burke to see if he can get that 2nd place. Ashley Blake Hood now 2.4 seconds clear, so he's flying out there now.
Yeah, and Stephen Burke's going to come under pressure because Ellis Stevens has just got an overlap into the penultimate corner. Sorry, Stevens is going to be all over the place. He's got the inside line now. He's got the inside line. What will Stephen Burke do? He hangs it out round the outside. They're going to go side by side. I think we might be about to go 3 wide down this straight. Dan Hunt practically bump drafting Ellis Stevens in the Elite Martini car down the straight. 10 laps to go here at Okayama. Stephen Burke just holds onto his position, and Ellis Stevens manages to slow the car down in time. So Stephen Burke still in 2nd place, but he goes wide through the corner. That's going to put him under pressure again into the right-hander. Daniel Hunt's taking a wide line so that he can cut back if Stevens makes a mistake, but this battle for 2nd. 3 cars battling for it here. 10 laps still to go.
Just have to think Dan Hunt is waiting for his opportunity to pounce on both of these drivers ahead, as there is quite a battle going on a bit further back. Robert Graham and Robert Fagg, they're getting together. Fagg into the gravel. Those guys just want to keep knocking the socks off each other through that hairpin corner there. That's the 2nd time today they've come to blows. It looks like Fagg might have to make a visit to the pits.
Hunt's through into 3rd whilst we were looking at that, and Robert Graham definitely making all the headlines in this 3rd and final race. He's still in 6th place as a result of all of that contact that he's been getting. Up into 3rd place, and Dan Hunt. Ellis Stevens down to 4th place. That's a bit of a shame because I thought Ellis Stevens was probably one of the quicker cars out of this 3-way battle for the lead. Sorry, for 2nd place. Dan Hunt closing in on Burke through the right-hander. Now we're going to see how quick the Oculus car is. Through the left-hander, he gets a great run. Uses all of the curbs there, in fact more on the exit. But he's just not close enough to launch an attack. He might do now. No, Stephen Burke uses the inside line to stop the Oculus 360 car from getting the move done. He's putting the car on the inside line. I know from my days racing the Mazda MX-5 at this circuit, you just hold the inside line and no one can get past you really, Alex.
Yeah, that's the key really, as we saw with Ellis. He was desperate to get the inside just a few laps back. Turned out didn't quite get the run on the final corner, but this time Hunt looks like he has got a great line. Burke having to go defensive very early.
Hunt to the outside, Burke to the inside, into the 1st corner. The Oculus car goes round the outside. They both hit each other. Surely Ellis Stevens will be able to capitalise on this. Will he get both of them though? Down the inside into turn 2. He has got both of them. Fantastic job there by Ellis Stevens, and the 2 hit each other. Hunt and Burke make contact, more contact, and Burke is in the barriers. That is his race. Well run. Probably might be able to get the car going. This has allowed Robert Graham through into Simon Field, in fact, through into 3rd place, Robert Graham 4th, and now Dan Hunt's having to duel it out with his teammate.
Yeah, what can you say about that? Just nothing given, no quarter there, and well, I'm not surprised it ended like that, to be fair.
So now it is still the leader is Ashley Blake Hood on 5.6 seconds. Ellis Stevens has still been able to keep hold of his 2nd position. He's 5.7 seconds behind, half a second ahead of Simon Field. Simon Field is in the lower half of the top 10 as Dan Hunt's trying to work his way back up through the field. Dan Hunt is now is down to 6th place, so with Simon Field now up in 3rd. Robert Graham still in 4th.
Richard Wilde getting in on the action, just put a move on Paul Smith, I believe, just off, just at the back of the shot there, going into turn 2.
I have to say though, Robert Graham being in 4th place is creating some great racing, because he might not be the quickest car on the track, but we're seeing some great battles unfold behind him as people are trying to get past him.
Yeah, exactly that, but I mean, when you look at it, he's still only 1.7 seconds behind the podium position man of Simon Field, so he's having a great race. We've got 7 laps to go. He's been pushed a little bit wide this time by I think that was Steve Hefford. Looks like Hefford's through. Daniel Hunt having a little look on his teammate as well. not sure it's going to happen. Richard Wild's got past his teammate of Robert Graham as well.
Yeah, so Hefford 4th, Hunt 5th, and in 6th place it is now Richard Wild. Richard Wild battling with Andrew Woodhouse earlier. He's been able to gain quite a few spots. He's now up into 6th position. 6 laps to go here, and in the car in 5th place, Dan Hunt, he just puts a few wheels onto the grass.
I just want to say, it looks like Noah's Ark out there with 2x2x2 with Oculus 360, Apex Racing TV, and that is the Lugnuts team there as well. So all the teammates having a lot of fun with each other out there.
And trying to get the best possible points for the Manufacturers' Championship as well. Into the final corner. Dan Hunt and the Oculus cars, they're starting to pull away a bit. Steve Hefford's got a half a second advantage now. But look in the background, that's one of the Apex Racing TV cars to have to go on the defensive. That is in 7th place. That is Robert Graham trying to defend from Paul Smith behind into turn 1. Is the car still ahead? It is still the Apex Racing TV car. Smith has a look to the inside.
Yeah, Smith, I think perhaps just a little bit quicker than Graham. Graham's car just looks as if it's taken on a little bit of too much damage here today so far, and yeah, we've got Julian Janowski as well just behind that. We haven't seen much of Janowski all this race meeting, so it's great to see him up and in the top 10.
Yeah, and he's going toe-to-toe with his teammate. He has a look down the inside, but the car in front, Paul Smith, has got the run on the outside line. Let's see if Janowski can set it up through the final corner. Paul Smith goes very deep into there to get the best possible line as one of the Oculus cars goes very wide through the exit. Further up the pack though, Alex, I think we've got a battle for 2nd place. Ellis Stevens and Simon Field separated by only 0.2 of a second across the line with 4 laps to go.
Yeah, we saw these guys have, if I'm not mistaken, have a little battle last race as well, a very, very similar sort of pace at least. So I wonder if Field's going to be able to make a move or not. It's going to have to perhaps just maybe a little bump and run or somewhere like that. Ellis goes a little bit wide on the exit. Field might get the undercut here, but as you see, once again, just not quite able to get that run. Stevens is able to hold the line through the final 2 corners.
Oh, I thought Summerfield was going to run into the back of him. Summerfield's probably done the drive of the race. Down the front straight, we're about to start 3 laps to go here in the final race of the evening, and it's been a cracker here at the Okayama Short Circuit. Lots of overtaking. Down into turn 1.
Richard Wild on Dan Hunt in the background as well. Around the outside, not going to make it. Tries for the undercut. Great defending from Dan Hunt there. He knew exactly what Wild was trying to do. Made sure he placed his car in exactly the right place.
And Stevens is still ahead, just whilst the side-by-side through turns 2 and 3, whilst that battle was unfolding, and it's still unfolding as well between the Oculus and the Apex car into the left-hander and the right-hander, where we probably won't see any overtaking without a little bit of contact. Stevens takes a different line, defends the inside into the penultimate corner. Simon Field can't run over too much of that curb, otherwise he will get a slowdown penalty, and we saw how detrimental that was to Steve Walker's race. He's now down in 10th position. On to the front straight once again. The Dan Hunt car and the Oculus car versus Richard Wild as well. That continues down the front straight. Penultimate lap here in race 3. Stevens holds the inside line, but Simon Field nearly could have got the inside line there. Stevens just keeping his car hogged on that inside line, Alex, and that's just what's keeping him in front of Simon Field for now.
Yeah, great driving from Ellis out there, really having to soak up the pressure now. I think just 2 more laps to go. Well, one and a half, not even that now. So as Ashley Blake Hood 4.8 seconds ahead of this battle, just rounds the final corner just to start his last lap.
And whilst Ellis Stevens is backing up Simon Field, he's backing them all into the rest of the field. Hefford is joining in, as well as Dan Hunt. Richard Wild as well through the final corner. White flag in the air. Ashley Blake Hood en route to take his first victory in the BSRTC for Team Carnage. Into turn 1 in the background. There's 2 cars going side by side. I think it might be one of the Lugnuts cars, but let's focus on this battle for 2nd place. Field versus Stevens into turn 2. Stevens again keeping the inside line there through the right-hander and the left-hander onto the back straight. It's gonna need to be a big move now from Field to get the move done, and he's right with the Elite Martini car into the left-hander. Is he going to lunge it up the inside? No, he doesn't. Stevens goes in way too deep though. Simon Field side by side, and I think he was caught unawares there. Ellis Stevens round the outside goes Simon Field. still side by side into the penultimate corner. Who's going to have the advantage? Still side by side, and his field just going to hold on. Either way, it's going to be Ashley Blake Hood that's going to take his first victory in the BSRTC. It's going to be a drag race to the line, Alex.
Yeah, I think Ellis is going to get it. He got a little nudge going through the last corner from Steve Hefford. I think that's going to make him hold on to second place. He will need to thank Mr. Hefford after this race, otherwise that second place was lost for sure.
Ellis Stevens took second place by 1/100th of a second. That's how close it was between those two. Fourth place for Steve Hefford, fifth for Dan Hunt. Dan Hunt in the end dropping down to fifth place as a result of that contact a little bit earlier on. Sixth place Richard Wild, a fantastic result for him. Seventh place Robert Graham. 8th Paul Smith. 9th Julian Janowski, and rounding out the top 10 is Alex Smolensky. 11th Steve Walker. 12th Ben Palmer. 13th Dan Kraft, 14th Matt Walker, 15th Robert Plumley, 16th Andrew Woodhouse. So a shame for Andrew Woodhouse, he was running up inside the 13th and 12th place, but now he ended up dropping down to 16th place. 17th Scott Malcolm, 18th John Roberts, 19th Jay Wright, and in 20th place it is Robert Fagg. I have to say though, Alex, I wasn't possibly in favour of the safety car at the beginning of the race, but I think it helped contribute to a brilliant race afterwards.
Yeah, I think you're right. I'm just looking at the gaps there. Second place through to sixth place, covered by 0.6 of a second, less than 0.6 of a second. That's just shows you how close it was.
And that's why we love the BSRTC. And just saying about the safety car, I think if it hadn't have come out, we would have had the similar situation to race 2, probably only 17 cars finishing on the lead lap. As a result of the safety car, we had 26 cars finishing on the lead lap within 48 seconds of each other. So that is pretty good going in a very quick race here. Let's bring Andrew Woodhouse in. How was it from your perspective? Finished 16th in the end.
Yeah, that was tiring. It was exciting. A lot of great racing. It's nice to race. Do so much racing in one event. I was hit by Robert Plumley in the end, but I was trying to defend my position. I was slow. Maybe I was too slow. I don't know, but yeah, it was good. I went backwards though after the safety car. Unfortunately, I couldn't. I was keeping up with those guys in front, the Lugnuts guys, and fortunately, once it all settled down a bit, I think my strategy was wrong, and I destroyed the tyres, I think, a little bit, and went backwards. But there you go, 16th in the end.
What a great result there, Alex, by Ashley Blake Hood. He managed to get the overtake done as quickly as he could, and he managed to pull away and take his first ever victory in the BSRTC.
Yeah, let's see if we can actually grab Ashley down for a quick chat.
And he joins us in the commentary box now. Ashley Blake Hood, well done, your first ever win in the BSRTC. How does it feel?
It feels fantastic. If you'd have asked me 2 meetings ago would I be winning at Okayama, I'd have told you that there's absolutely no way. I hate that track, but oh yeah, it's a win.
Sorry, go ahead, Alex.
I was going to say, yeah, great race, Ashley. The track looked a little slippy for the first corner. A lot of carnage going off in there. Of course, we had the safety car, but you got yourself out front pretty quickly. Just tell us how the race unfolded for yourself.
I nearly got caught up in the melee at the first corner. The two in front of me just completely lost it. I managed to drive through the middle. I thought I had bent steering coming out of that because I hit one of the Apex cars on my outside. But then after the safety car, for some reason the guy behind me was about a second behind on the restart. So me and I've forgotten his name, but yeah, we had a good battle up the front, and then I just stuck it up the inside when I had a chance going into the hairpin and never looked back.
And of course, during that race, it looked like the gap was ebbing and flowing a little bit. Were you keeping an eye on that? Were you just trying to maintain the gap, or were you just focused on what you were doing and try to go as fast as possible?
Well, what it was, towards the end, my teammate was about to go 2 laps down, and obviously I want him to score points as well as me scoring points, and I knew I had 6 seconds, so I just hung back trying to let him stay on the lead lap, just 1 lap down. But then he started blinking in front of me, so I had to let him pass. I probably could have kept pulling the gap because they were battling behind me, but I just wanted my teammate to be able to score, really.
Well, next week we head to Laguna Seca, and I don't think you can get really much of a different track compared to this one, can you?
No, I'm looking forward to taking a Kia through the corkscrew. That's going to be interesting with 30 odd Kias on the track, but yeah, that's very different.
And we look forward to seeing you there. Ashley Blake, well done on taking your first victory in the BSRTC in race 3. We'll see you in Laguna Seca.
Thank you very much. I look forward to my next win.
Ashley Blake Hood there, Alex, and he seemed pretty modest with himself after taking that victory.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he had more than enough pace in that car by the sounds of it as well, trying to help out his teammate there as well. Great sportsmanship from him there as well. So I think he felt quite confident that if he needed to up the pace, he could have done quite easily as well.
Next, I'd like to have a quick word with Robert Graham. He seemed to be in the thick of the action tonight, and he managed to get a top 10 finish for Apex Racing TV, and that seems to be a rare occurrence these days.
See if I can find Robert. I'm trying to see where he is. There he is.
And Robert Graham now joins us in the commentary box after a pretty hectic race 3 for you, Robert. You seem to be right in the thick of the action.
Yeah, that was fun, man. A lot of fun.
You started in fifth place on the grid. You finished in 7th, but it seemed to be you were battling with the likes of Robert Fagg, and you still managed to keep yourself inside the top 10 after all of that contact.
Yeah, I'm happy and unhappy with that. I've just been talking to Rob Fagg. Actually, blatantly ran me off the track just after I'd nudged him very, very slightly. And he's trying to defend it by saying that I spun him off, which was obviously not true. But apart from that, it was some right good battles up and down. A few people, a good bit of typical touring car door bashing going on. You know, a lot of good fun, and reasonably happy with the finish.
We don't often see you up at the front during these races. Is it the reverse grid that seems to help you out, often go in your favour, and then hopefully you can try and mix it with the guys at the front?
Yeah, it definitely does. I can't deny that. I don't have the raw speed for qualifying on most tracks to get up there at the front, but usually if I can get up there with a reverse grid, I can make a reasonable show of it.
And next week we head to Laguna Seca. You can't really go to a much more of a different track.
Yeah, I quite like Laguna Seca right enough, so I think it'll be interesting.
Okay, we'll look forward to seeing you there next week. Robert Graham, thanks for joining us, and we'll let you slog it out with Robert Fagg.
It'll be fun. Cheers, guys. Catch you later.
Robert Graham ended up finishing in 7th position. Robert Fagg, by the way, ended up finishing in 20th place. So Rob Fagg not happy. He did start in 7th place on the grid, and we were saying before the broadcast started, Alex, he could have had a shot at winning that race.
Yeah, absolutely. Showing great pace all week, and we know how quick the driver is as well. So, but it just goes to show it's not so easy to get through, these reverse grids sometimes, and occasionally there's other drivers that are out of place. And Robert Graham actually did a great job there in defending his position throughout that race, and I'm sure both drivers give as good as they got in that one. So I'm sure I'm sure they'll have some fun arguing who's to blame there.
Right, I don't think there's anyone else that has had a notably good race, so I think we can round things off here. Alex, it started off pretty slowly here in race 1, not too many overtaking moves done, but then I think the drivers learned how to overtake here around Okayama, and by the end of the evening we had some brilliant racing.
Yeah, it's like what we often see, and we said actually the first race, the fastest guys are qualify first, and they tend to pull away. That's the way of it. We had a couple of little battles go off in that, and a few overtakes, but not too much. But yeah, that the reverse grid makes all the difference, and some great battles out there, and some great racing around, some amazing moves. Russell later did a great move, but that was matched shortly later in the following race by, I can't remember who it was who did it now, unfortunately, but a couple of moves that would have to put them up there with the best we've seen in the 3 seasons we've been covering this championship.
And Andrew, next week we head to Laguna Seca. We've got the mad dash down to the Andretti hairpin at the start of the race, and then the big slog up the hill towards the corkscrew.
Yeah, I mean, Laguna Seca, a very difficult track. Should be a challenge in these Kias, I think, because a lot of medium speed corners. This car doesn't really like those too much, so we'll see if people can get inventive with the setups and see if there can be a see who can come out on top. But definitely the corkscrew, I reckon there'll be a few victims at the top of that hill. Alex, that's your favourite track, mate?
Oh yes, absolutely. Although I think I put my demon to bed a couple of seasons back now in the when I took the F1 round there. So
that's it. I'm absolutely shattered now, boys. That was a really really physical. It's quite a physical track to drive. Actually, there's a lot of especially when you're racing closely. It's really takes it out of you a little bit.
Well, we'll leave it there then and let you cool down, Andrew. Next week, as you're saying, Laguna Seca, and if you've liked what you've seen tonight, give the BSRT TV channel a subscribe. We'll see you in a week's time at Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca for races 10, 11 and 12 of the British Sim Racers Touring Car Championship.